Oh, hey.
Hey, we both have hats on today.
Yeah, we both, but I've got my special hat. See, in my special hat, the United States beer drinking team hat.
Oh,
It's
that's
official.
what that is.
Yeah, I created a team. I'm the only one in the team, on the team. It's hard to participate in team sports when you're
Hard
the
to
only
keep
one.
members.
Yeah, well, it probably wouldn't be easy to keep members. It would be hard to keep members standing straight up, but it wouldn't be hard to keep members.
Yes,
You're gonna fall down and you just lock them in right where they're at.
that's true. That's true. United States beer drinking. Okay, and how often do you meet?
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night. Coincidentally, it coincides with Grit and Grace TV, where everybody should be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night.
Absolutely. And we both have our hats, but I don't have any fancy team hat. This is I didn't have time to tame my curly bedhead hair. That's what my hat means.
Yeah, my hat is kind of taking on a similar meaning these days. I have to wear a hat because I have done something that I haven't done probably in, oh Christ, when did I get? Since 1993. I know, and this is weird. I've actually got hair on the top of my head.
Oh my God! You have lots of hair.
I do, and look how wavy it is.
Wow!
Little curly Q things going on back here. So
wow!
People in my own family are discovering why my daughter has curly hair now.
Exactly.
Well,
that is funny.
We all got, our little family trade secrets that we like to keep, and that was mine. I got curly hair. Yeah, I'm a curly-headed little whatever. So, yeah.
Oh, God.
But I figured I'd try something different this year. I figured I'd grow it out a little bit. And because I still have hair, people always say, hey, you've got such nice hair. Why do you cut it all off? Well, just kind of got used to it. Yeah. Anyways, Nada Cardillo, thank you for joining us. So he says, oh my, you look like your dad with that hat off. Really? He's got dark hair. I've got blonde hair. We don't look nothing. Yeah. And Opal thought still, I am out of the town, but I will share this now. Thank you very much for sharing. Please do share, please. That helps us out so much because you introduce all your awesome friends to, well, an amazing woman and some jackass that sits next to her. Everybody needs to introduce some jackass to their friends to show them just how much more evolved they are than the jackass they just introduced them to. That's what we do.
And you've done this on your own page. So I was looking for it on the Grit and Grace page, but you did it from your own profile. So that's okay.
That's find it. Because I've been sitting over here trying to find it too. And I'm like, where the hell is this?
Yes. So we're doing a Free for All Friday. If you've never joined us, Free for All Friday is just that. You want to ask something, you want to talk about something. Hello, Charles. We do have things we want to talk about. We have a viewer question that kind of has both of us like studying because it's not just a simple question. And we've got a couple things we want to talk about. And if you want to chime in with something, that would be great too. We would love you to share this. And if you aren't a fan on our page, you can go to Facebook.com, Grit and Grace TV. And so we're just going to sit and bullshit on a Friday. But you got something you wanted to talk about.
Well, yeah, I do want to. It was something that kind of just, we all have those little pet peeves. We just have those things. So I want to kind of get a couple of things out about something that happened today. Somebody posted something in a group that looked to me, in my perspective, was spam. They were trying to sell their services on this group, and the conversation had nothing to do with what she was promoting. Zero. Now, if the post is something that is talking about promoting or talking about your business and there's a call to action that asks you specifically to promote your shit, go for it. I would not say a word about it. About a month ago, there was a situation where my post was deleted. Well, to me, that's that's censoring me. You're censoring my opinion. You're telling me that my opinion doesn't mean anything. My opinion is just nothing. You're telling me that I am nothing compared to your ability to control what people say or read from me. Mm-hmm. So I posted a comment about, this was kind of spammy and that it derailed the conversation because the conversation was a great conversation, but completely derailed the conversation. It took it in a completely 180 degrees the other way, back to the cliff where we fell off. And I didn't notice it because I had some issues with my phone today. It kind of broke it a little bit. And by the time I was actually able to go back and see if there was any comments so that we could have a conversation about what was actually said and what the meaning behind it was, and maybe how it could have been handled differently to seem less spammy and more like, please, tell me what I could do differently to, maybe move this along, whatever. It was deleted. The guy that started the group, who, by the way, he started the group and then specifically asked me to be part of the group so I could help him create engagement and help him grow the group. Now, here's the problem with that. When you create engagement, you can't have a bunch of yes people that completely agree with you. You can't have conversations with people that will only agree with everything you say. You have to have some kind of antagonist. You have to have some kind of difference of opinion. And in order to be able to have an intelligent conversation, you have to allow the two people who have engaged in this conversation to, one, spit their opinion out and let you know what they think. And two, let the other person respond and explain why they're passionate about what they're doing. Let them defend their passion. You have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're intelligent enough to have a conversation with somebody. And at some point in that conversation, either one way or the other, something's going to come out of it that's going to benefit everybody who's following along with that conversation. So everybody knows that I'm big supporter of, the First Amendment. I understand that Facebook is not the government. And if you read carefully in the First Amendment, you realize that is a law that's the law that protects people from government stepping in and censoring what we say, do, all that kind of good stuff. It does not protect people from other people. It doesn't. So yeah, in the true sense of the form, this is not censorship. I get it, but it's still disrespectful as hell when somebody goes out and takes down a post because they feel that it might hurt somebody else's feelings. Maybe it will. Maybe it will hurt their feelings a little bit, but nothing good ever happened from people not having their feelings hurt just a little bit. Someone's always got to have their feelings or change to happen and for people to understand what comes next. So that's my little rant about that. And I am not going to tell you what this group is, and I'm not going to tell you the name of the person who did this or the person that I was responding to. And the reason why is because I just don't feel like giving them any recognition or credibility whatsoever. I'm not going to help them out because if I told you who it was, you'd go running over there, check it out, see what was said, see what was done, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to give them that option. I'm not going to give them that opportunity to be able to benefit from any of this that I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Whether good or bad, any recognition can be used as something to kind of bring you along. Anyways. But so that's my rant. That's my deal. So if you want to take this shit down, you want to take my stuff down, understand I'm that type of person that's not going to just sit on the sidelines and let you just do whatever you want. I'm going to call you out on your bullshit because that's disrespectful, first of all. And second of all, it's just one of those things that you have to respect other people's opinions. You may not agree with that opinion. And please, I love it when people disagree with my opinions and challenge me to force me to reconsider what my opinion is and how it was formed. So maybe, just maybe, I might change my opinion because we can do that too. But anyways,
Yeah.
So
I totally agree with you. I've had comments that I've made, and you know what? I can see if you're being a dick, if you're really not, providing any kind of valuable perspective on anything. I've had comments deleted, and I think, yeah, you just like slammed the door in my face. You didn't, wow, are you ever closed-minded? I had somebody unfriend me, and it wasn't even like they were promoting something, and I commented my own experience, and bang, that was it. They unfriended me, and I thought, wow, so you're not capable of being able to show why what you have is better. And don't you think if you had somebody approach you and ask you a question, and maybe someone's going to actually be a jerk about it, but I was just sharing my own experience. And I thought, wow, that really, it really tells you something. But yeah, we can change our opinions. But the thing is that most people don't even want to. Yeah. Most people are closed-minded. They think their opinions and their stone, and that's the way it is. And you and I are the same. We will actually go back and look at something and we'll say, okay, I see what you mean. Maybe I was being a little bit of a biatch, or maybe, yeah, you're right. You shared a good point. And wow, life is so much better that way, rather than just shutting down and just not even considering something else, because that belief that you have was never yours to begin with. Someone else gave it to you.
Yeah.
So why can't you change it based on something else? Again, I mean, it was never originally yours.
Right. All of our opinions are based off of the formulation of other people's opinions. And it may be from one person's opinion that you just buy into wholeheartedly. And if that's the case, start looking for other ways that you can expand upon it. But others, we're lucky enough to be able to form our opinions based on a lot of different people's, input. And when that happens, you might be that next person that just adds that little piece of the puzzle that makes you just, oh, whoa, okay, I think I might have been understanding this wrong. Let's go that route. Let's see where that leads us. So it is what it is. And, I didn't want to take up a whole lot of the showtime with that rant. I just wanted to get that out because I want people to understand that how, just because you started a group, just because you kind of formulated some kind of a plan, doesn't mean you're the be all end all big dick in the room. All it means is you're giving people an opportunity to share with one another different thoughts, ideas, and opinions to be able to grow and expand their understanding of what's around them. That's it. That's what it is.
And isn't that the point? Isn't that the point of a group, to have discussion and engagement?
I don't know.
That's the point.
Well, I think some of these groups are just an ego trip. They're just a freaking ego trip for these people to kind of pat their back, stroke their ego, whatever it is that they got to do at night to put their damn head on that pillow and think, man, I made a difference today. You know what? You know how I make a difference every day? You know how I know I make a difference every single day? My wife looks over at me and she says, good night, honey. When we can do that, when we can lay together, we can sit down and have a great conversation with each other. My day, that's all I need. That's how I know I contributed enough to the day. Now, if I come home and shit's packed and it's on the front lawn, apparently I didn't contribute enough. Anyways.
Oh man, that's funny.
I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah.
It leads us into this question, kinda. It's weird. Wow, that was a weird question. There is so much going on with this question that we got through our anonymous tip line. It was, Morse code, beep, 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 beep. I don't know how it gets there, but it got there. And then all these words started getting together to create this holy shit of a wow. I don't know exactly where to even start with it, but I do know I want to tell you that if you have something you want to talk about, all you got to do is go to gritandgracetv.com and post your question. Or if you have an idea for a show topic, post it there as well. You don't have to know who you are, but if you want us to know who you are, just put the name at the end. That's all you got to do. Anyways.
Yeah. So start with the question. Yeah, because I don't have it up, and I'll have to hear it again.
All right.
Take notes.
It says, I've been married a couple years, and my husband left me for a drug addiction. While he was off gallivanting, I was also gallivanting instead of getting a divorce, and ended up getting pregnant by someone I was just having a physical relationship with. My son is 6 months old, but I lied to the ex-boyfriend about the paternity of my kid. It's not perfectly written, so he's kind of the perfect man, except for he is just younger and needs directions and has his priorities all wrong. We're going to go back through this and we're going to pick this apart a little bit. So I'm just going to get quick, but we're going to break this down because there's so many parts that need to be said. So going back to it, it says, after a failed divorce, I'm just scared to put my all into someone and it not work out. Plus, I am not interested in being anyone else's mother except my son's. So I'm going to finally divorce my husband. The ex-boyfriend who suspected he was my son's father immediately moved on and is in another relationship. Sometimes I feel I messed up and should have stayed in a relationship with him. But I also feel that as my divorce is getting finalized, plus single motherhood taking on its toll, I'm just getting lonely and falling on old habits like going back to the ex. I know this all isn't traditional and lying is awful, but I feel my decisions are in my kid's best interest. He's catered to, goes without nothing, and is the happiest child you'll ever meet. Yay for you. Whatever. That part irritated me. And I know there are good, whole men out there who would love, aside from this mess, a great woman like myself to help. Oh, please help advise. So, wow. There's like level 10 crazy going on here.
There's a lot of stuff going on in that.
From a man's perspective, from my perspective, I should say, not a man's, but from my perspective, there's so many levels of crazy going on here. So I'm going to break down the first part and then we're going to discuss that and then we'll go to the next. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been married a couple years and my husband left me for a drug addiction. Wow. So right there, keep that in mind. That's an important piece of information to keep in the back of your mind because you're going to see how this plays into it here in just a few minutes. While he was off gallivanting, I also gallivanted instead of getting a divorce and ended up getting pregnant by someone I was just having a physical relationship with. So when I read that first section, those first two sentences, what I see is basically, when people tell their side of the story and it's minimized compared to the actual story, and there's bad guy over there. That's what I'm reading in this first two sentences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think? What's your
thoughts? My thing is married for a couple of years. My husband left me for a drug addiction. This drug addiction didn't just happen during that. That was already happening. So did you know?
Oh, hey, meth. You know?
Yeah. I mean, but it's possible that her husband tried it in that 2 years that they were married. But chances are, this was already going on. Did you know about it? Why did you get into it? When I read this question, the first thing that popped into my head was thinking about what the series that we've been doing every day about the 6 human needs. And this is love and connection. This is someone that's looking for love and connection. Because you're married a couple years, that's not a long time. So it didn't work out with that person. That person left. Her husband left her for drug addiction. So now she went off and did her own gallivanting. That is someone that's really looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah. She's using the tools that she believes she has available to her to receive that kind of love that she's looking for.
Absolutely. So, and it's hard to answer a question like this because you don't know, if this was a client, I'd want to know, obviously, did you know this was going on? Did you use drugs together? And for him, it was just more. Like, are you part of that as well? Did you try to get help? Did you try in supporting your husband? Like, what's the background on that? So, I mean, we're going to just go by what the information we have from this viewer question.
Right. Yeah. And the whole thing, he was off gallivanting. I also gallivanted instead. Her putting that part in there it's like this is one of those critical thinking errors that you and I were what I touched on it before the show started. A lot of times criminals and people that have issues with connection, things like that, they have these things that the people that did the studies called critical thinking errors. One of the major critical thinking errors is when they're telling a story and they're minimizing their involvement in the story. They'll always add something in there that still puts that black shadow out there, but it's still, well, he's doing it, so she put that out there as like that's her black shadow, but since he's doing it, it's not that big of a deal, that type of deal. So it can.
Well, it's to justify the behavior, right? Yes, well, he went out gallivanting, so I'm going to do it. Well, how committed are you to that relationship?
Yeah,
it's a young relationship, and you're already out because he did it. You're doing it. I'd want to know too. What's the age of these people? Were you really young? Or, like, there's so many things that come into play with that.
Right. And then this part here, what I was just saying with that thinking error, it leads into the next critical thinking error, which we're going to touch right now. As my son is 6 months old, but I lied to the ex-boyfriend about the paternity of my kid. He's kind of the perfect man, except for he's just younger and needs directions, and his priorities are all wrong.
His priorities are wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Here's the critical thinking error. Every time I read something, every single time I've read that, I hear those same words coming from battered women who keep going back to their husbands. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened. I made him mad and it wasn't his fault. And they come up with all these freaking excuses of not their fault. And that's exactly what she's doing here. He's kind of the perfect man, except, well, as soon as you put in except, you're starting to make an excuse for him. You're enabling him to keep acting the way he's acting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no, she's talking about the boyfriend in that part of the question is, I mean, he's kind of the perfect man. So she had an affair, she got pregnant, and he's kind of the perfect man. There's not anything in there about him being abusive or drugs or anything.
If he's the boyfriend, why is he I guess I read that differently because I'm looking at it as, okay, she's with this guy. They didn't get a divorce. Okay, here's the boyfriend, whatever. But he lied to him about the paternity. He's kind of the perfect man, blah, blah, blah. I guess I was reading that as, why would she have to hide that from him? I figured she was talking about the ex-husband. Either way, she's still,
I think she's talking about the boyfriend there. She's talking about the boyfriend, and that part of the question is that he's kind of the perfect man, and she's lied to him about the paternity. So what I would want to know is why. And I think she said something in there about she doesn't want a sometimes dad for her child. So I really had an issue with the boyfriend. So she says he's kind of the perfect man. Yes, you're right, Jennifer. Totally hurting the kid. And that's one of the points that I was going to say is he's kind of the perfect man, but he's kind of young with anything. I've seen some great dads who are young. I've seen some older dads who are not dads at all. So he's kind of young, and what else does it say there? He's kind of young. He needs direction, and his priorities aren't. Yeah,
his priorities are messed up.
And your priorities aren't messed up. Okay, you fooled around, and then you're lying about the paternity of your child. You know, I have a big problem when this comes. I've seen this a lot. That women will get pregnant and they'll lie to the father and not tell them, and say it's not theirs, or not even tell them. That is so unfair. If he's not an abusive person, and she even said he's kind of a good guy, she just thinks he's a little young and has his priorities a little screwed up. Well, That's your opinion. And that's coming from somebody that I think, maybe your priorities are a little
out of whack.
I think that my suggestion is on that part, you tell him he deserves to know, because you chose, and maybe you did protect yourself. If you're going to have an affair and pregnancy is not something you want, then protect yourself. Make sure you're both using protection. Maybe don't have the affair. I don't know. That's a risk that you're taking on if you're going to do that, on top of STDs and whatever else. But I think you took the risk. You involved somebody. You created a life. That I've seen what happens when people grow up and they don't know their parent. And that is not fair to the kid. It's not fair to him. He has a right to know. He's a right to know. And who knows, it could be a great dad.
Right. And then so I guess this, like I said, this was a difficult one to kind of follow along, because she's saying husband, then boyfriend, then ex-boyfriend. Who's what's what? I mean, how many boyfriends are we talking about? How many husbands are we talking about now? Because apparently she seems to be all over the place with trying to keep everything straight. I don't get it. But it goes on to say, finally divorced my husband. The ex-boyfriend who suspected he was my son's father immediately moved on and is in another relationship. Well, why shouldn't he?
Yeah,
First of all, why shouldn't he? I mean, obviously they weren't working because his priorities were messed up. Apparently he found out he prioritized what he needed to prioritize, and that was to be happy himself. But at the same time, there's just, like I said, there's a whole level of craziness going on here.
How does it end again? Because again, I don't have the question in front of me, and it's such a long question. What is it that this person is wanting?
Okay, so it goes on to say, it says, where I'm just trying to get through where I'm at. It says, but I also feel that as my divorce is getting finalized, plus single motherhood taking its toll, I'm getting lonely and falling on old habits like going back with an ex. So just in that sentence right there, you see a couple other problems with human needs. We're looking for certainty. We're looking for significance. We're looking for love and connection again. So there's three needs in just that one sentence. And then, she's like, I'm a single mom. It's almost like she's putting it out there like, oh my God, it's just so much being just pushed on me. I'm the single mom and I need somebody in my life. And that's where it all kind of comes all down to the end is I don't want to ruin my kid's life by potentially involving someone who would be a sometimes dad. And I know there are good whole men out there who would love, aside from this mess, a great woman like myself. Help advise.
Okay. Okay. Well, the first thing I would do, I would go to our website and take the 6 human needs test and find out what your top 2 needs are. That determines how you're making decisions in your life. What is it that you're searching for? Go to our website at gritandgracetv.com, click on show resources, search for the 6 human needs, take the online test, find out what your top 2 needs are. It gives a little bit of information on, things that can help you, because I can tell absolutely where you're operating from and where all your decisions are being made. That's the first thing I would recommend. I bet love and connection is right up there, but you're meeting that need in a wrong way. You're trying to feel loved by connecting with other people, giving of yourself, and hoping that you will get what it is that you want in return. You didn't get it from your husband, because he went off with the drugs. The boyfriend, you feel things aren't right there. Maybe he wasn't.
She broke the trust in that relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And paying attention to yourself. So it's interesting that, so it sounds like there's going to be some men out there that would be great dads. So it sounds like she wants to meet a man that will take her and her child and treat her child as his own.
Right.
Instead of a sometimes dad from the real dad. I suggest that you get in touch with that guy and you sit down and you have a conversation and you tell him that you were really friggin' wrong and that he is the father of your child, and you set something up and you work something. You know what? A sometimes dad that is a fantastic dad, consistent, is better than no dad and wondering who their dad is. So if it's rough, daunting being a single mom, I know what that's like. I was a single mom for a few years. I know what that's like. Yeah, sometimes it can get lonely. Sometimes, it's just you doing everything, for sure. So why are you not allowing the opportunity to have this ex that you feel is a good guy to not be there and help? You don't know how great he could be at helping. He could, take his own child out for a few hours and give you a break. So that's what I would suggest. You have to tell this guy that he is the dad. Absolutely. Yeah. And then you got to start focusing on yourself.
Right. You got to have that relationship with you before you can put yourself in a position where you can have relationships with others. I mean, it's first and foremost, there's no way you can add value to a relationship if you don't understand what it is that you can offer as a relationship. Just giving yourself up to whatever they want isn't building a healthy relationship. And it's definitely not going to end well for you when it does end, because you're going to feel as though you gave your everything, and you did. You gave everything of yourself. But because you didn't hold any of that back for yourself, you're going to be devastated when that all comes crashing apart like it did here. The guy moved on. He moved on with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Burned that bridge. She broke his trust. She burned the bridge down when he left. He's not coming back. It's not going to happen. There's just no way to repair something where you've manipulated this man, put him in a situation where he's unsure. He has no certainty coming from you in his human needs.
Yeah.
So that's really, we've been talking 6 human needs all week long. Started with certainty, then uncertainty, love, connection. Talking about these things. take that test. I'm telling you, take that test. Understanding not just you, but if you're with your significant other, your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, have them take it with you. Do it together. Separately, of course, but just do that test and then share those with each other. I bet you, in fact, I guarantee once you understand each other's human needs and what those two top priorities are, you can meet each other on so many different levels and your relationships will be stronger, regardless if love and connection is your number one or if it's your number one. You'll understand how you guys can be on that level where you can really, truly, just be in that moment together.
Yeah, because you're going about meeting those needs in a negative way. And what's going to happen is you will continuously be disappointed all the time. So you want to meet those needs in a positive way. And when you can do that for yourself and for the other person you're with, that's what it's about. And that's what the test is for, to understand yourself better. A lot of things, it's almost as if I would bet I would so love to know what the top two needs are of her, but definitely love and connection are up there. And I don't know if it would be certainty or significance. Mm-hmm. And if it's love and connection and significance, they're just constantly battling all the time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can definitely see where the significant comes in, especially when she all of a sudden starts switching it over. I'm a single mom, but you kind of get that feel reading it, like she's just like, I want me time now. It's not fair that he gets to go out and doesn't have all these responsibilities. I don't want responsibilities. Let me go out and do my thing. That's what it sounds like to me. What's happening here almost, but
she chose to be a single mom. She chose it.
That was something she chose in that moment when emotions are running high. And when we make decisions made on emotions, we often regret those decisions we make because they're not necessarily a well thought out plan of execution. It's just, boom, let's explode. It's like a bomb going off. And those emotion decisions are bad news. Bad news.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's our recommendation. So whoever wrote that in, I'll be sure to put that everywhere. So whoever did send it in, this was sent in anonymous. We have no clue who it was. If you have a question, you can do the same thing. So I'll make sure to put that in the notes. So whoever sent that question in, they'll know that this episode, we're answering that question. They may be pissed off at us, but what? Like, go ahead.
I was going to say, I just want to say thank you for having the courage to put that out like that. And we appreciate everybody who does this, but when someone puts it out there like this, and I bashed you pretty hard, and that's coming from my perspective as a male, and I get that, but when you look into where this perspective comes from and how it was developed over the years of my upbringing in a single parent family, and seeing how the ups and downs of her in and out of different relationships, trying to find that connection, find that love, something that would give back to her that she thought she needed. Having seen this from the inside out, from the child's perspective, your child deserves nothing from you other than love, support, and just give them what they need. Give them the father that they deserve. And if that means going back and saying, hey, look, you don't have to be my husband. You don't have to be my boyfriend. Just be part of your son's life. That's all that your son deserves. And that's all that he needs.
Exactly. If you don't want to be with him, I mean, I understand they're young. We have to make the decision. But if this person is not an abuser and not irresponsible and not, it just, your opinion is he's a young guy that, he's a little, got his priorities a little, that's there's no age limit on maturity or having your priorities straight or anything. Like, let them know. That's only fair. That's the first step. That's the second step. Take the test. Let them know.
So yeah. Anyways, so again, thank you very much for sending that in, and thank you for having the courage to be able to put it in a spot like that. If you have any questions, or maybe if you want to, talk to us, go ahead, send us a message, send us an email. We'd love to be able to talk to you one-on-one, maybe understand a little bit more of what was going on, because there's a lot of gray area there, and maybe we really, I don't want to say judge, but maybe we had some unfair opinions of what it was that you're trying to say. So please, if you want to expand on that a little bit more, please reach out. We would love to talk to you. You can even send it in as an anonymous message again, and we would love to talk about that on maybe Friday show. So, but what's
and now we don't really have time to talk about what we both really wanted to talk about.
I know.
Fuck.
You know what I kind of want to talk about?
What
we're going to do next week. Oh, shoot. We got 3 more episodes coming up on the 6 Human Needs. Actually, we got 4 episodes coming up, because we're going to reveal ours, what we did when we took the test. Yeah, because we took it, and these may surprise you. I know it surprised me a lot, but I still haven't got my wife to take the test.
Really?
No, she hasn't done it yet. But it is mandatory. I volunteered her to do it, and she will do it because I'm the man of the house when she lets me be, and she likes to do things for me sometimes. So, but in all seriousness, though, yeah, get on over to gritandgracetv.com, take the test, follow us on Facebook. Go over to Mile High Radio, download the app, listen to all the great shows over there at Mile High Radio. You'd be surprised on what they've done. If you've checked it out before and you thought, maybe this isn't for me, go back and do it again. Lynn has absolutely cleaned house and remodeled this mansion of a radio station. It is one of the most amazing things I've seen happen over the course of just 3 months. Go check out the new Mile High Radio.
There's a lot of great shows tomorrow. Saturdays, if you've never listened to podcasts, go listen tomorrow. Saturday is like podcast day. There's some great shows coming up.
Saturday's like cartoon day. You remember when Saturday morning cartoons? That's how I feel about Mile High Radio on Saturdays. It's like, oh my God, I get Drew, and I get Dave, and I get Ashley, and I get, man. And guys, check out Appalachian Pie, man. That show is legit.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, he's got some great shows. And Ashley's show, Who's This, is launching tomorrow. So that's a new one that's starting tomorrow. And yeah, Ranting and Raving podcast. If you want to listen to some really good, funny ranting and raving on sports and other things, go and listen to the Ranting and Raving podcast. Like, it's all day. Starts at 9 a.m. and 9 a.m. Pacific, and just goes all the way into the evening. So 7:30, I think, 8:30.
It's like I said, it's like Saturday morning cartoons, but like watching it on USA Network. You remember Cartoon Express? Yeah, that's.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know, Saturday mornings. Oh, and I just want to point out that one of them, I can't remember what time. I think it might be noon Pacific. The Hollow 9 Network, their shows that plays. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, their show Throne Games. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but there's a lot of you people out there.
Yeah. It's an amazing time, and it's a unique twist on all the other Game of Thrones podcasts and shows that are out there, because they all talk about the same thing. This one is different. You're not going to find another Game of Thrones podcast anything like this anywhere on the internet. I promise you. And if you do, they stole it from these guys, because Hollow 9 Network, they are the originals at being original.
Have you been on it?
Yeah,
have
I
you
have.
done one of those?
He's allowed me to be a guest and give oh my God, it was the most fun experience, because I am I am a Game of Thrones guy. I love that series. It is amazing.
Yeah.
But in the episode, and I'm not going to give it away, but in the episode that I was on with them, we were talking about two characters. One is, I mean, they're both despicable characters, but they are so well developed. It was difficult to really kind of to dig at one versus the other. So yeah, it's this whole thing. It was such an experience. I would recommend if anybody gets an opportunity to jump on with these guys on anything that they do at Hollow Knight Network, do it. But especially something like this, where it is such a unique thing. It is an original creation from the sick and twisted mind of Dave, the clone. I mean, the guy is absolutely a creative genius, and
God, is he ever? He and coming from Hollow 9 is going to be an epic, episodic story that's going to debut on Mile High Radio. And this it's going to be unfreaking believable. He's sneaked some little clip things to me that I've gotten to listen to, and it's like, that guy is so freaking creative. Like, oh my freaking God.
Yeah. When the day he tells me go ahead and put it out, I am going to start leaking those little clips. Just creating that viral buzz. And I guarantee you, the first time you hear that very first sentence of what's coming out, you're gonna be hooked. Yeah. Because he's got probably, in my mind, today, he has got one of the top 50 voiceover people doing the intro to that show. And if you're listening, Cole, I just put you in the top 50. That's it. You're in the top 50.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be so good. I can't wait. So that's gonna premiere on Mile High Radio, and we'll definitely keep you posted on what day and time that's going to be, because I'm so excited for it. Like, I'm just so excited. Like, I just hear little things, and oh my God, I'm just so excited. So I think it's actually going to launch like around Thanksgiving. Your guys' Thanksgiving.
Yeah, somewhere around end of November. November, and he keeps giving us these little tips, because we're the ones that are going to be putting it out there for him, trying to get people watching, and he keeps releasing these little bits here and there, and he's got us so excited. And folks, you are witnessing live firsthand, literally, a shift in what podcasting is becoming. I mean, literally, this is not a trend that's happening. This is a shift. This is what people have been screaming for years now, and it's happening. It's starting right now, and people are being more creative. They're doing things that they're not new ideas, but they're new to podcasting, and it is going to change how people listen and are entertained by what these creative geniuses have to offer. And I'm not just talking about Hollow 9 here. There's thousands of them out there who have switched over and have started to really just branch out and create new avenues to reach people.
Well, because podcasting has been somewhat traditional in the way that it operates, right? It's either solo or you have a guest, or there's a lot of those. But I think, then we get these people that are super creative that just see it in another way. And I think he's got 3 seasons mapped out. He's got
he's in it already. It's like, man, I can't even come up with one episode of my own show.
Yeah.
Seasons of a dramedy, an audio drama thing going on. I mean, this is like, wow. And he's deep, and I'm trying to figure out what am I going to talk about next.
Yeah. I know. And we're going to go back in time with this, the old time story. But it's just, Oh, it's just unbelievable. So yeah, it's Hollow 9 Network. They're gonna release it's called Tangent City. I know he's been putting that hashtag out there. It's called Tangent City. This is gonna be amazing. We're definitely gonna be sharing it out. But Hollow 9 Network has a lot of great shows. They just launched another one called Glow. And
Glorious Women of Wrestling. That
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I can't wait. Oh my God. But you know what? I've been pushing him to do like a one-off podcast on a particular topic. And it's sort of become, I don't even know how it came about, but it's sort of become an inside joke. And I kill myself laughing. I don't know how that guy's brain works, but I'm like, you seriously need to do like a podcast on this. And he's like, it's sort of like a thing now, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, you really, even if it's a one-off, like you can do comedy. Like you need to do this, even if it's a one episode or like 3 mini, because it is so funny that he is so funny.
So now that we just got done fangirling and fanboying all over Dave, why don't we take this out? Why don't we tell them what we're going to be doing? We kind of did already, and then we kind of got off on this little deep out session of Dave. And I think I might have started it with the Game of Thrones thing, but whatever.
Oh yeah, I was talking about the Throne Games because we were talking about Saturday shows on Mile High Radio. You want to listen to podcasts? It's Throne Games on Saturdays. So next week we're going to continue our series on the 6 human needs. If you haven't taken the test, you better get to our website, gritandgracetv.com. Click on Show Resources tab. You will find the 6 human needs test. It's online. You don't have to give up email or anything like that. Just take the test, find out your top 2 needs. This is what we're talking through. We're running through them all. We've done 3. We tried to do the 4th all freaking week, but technology was just screwing with us. So we should be doing Monday night Love and Connection, and then we're going to continue on, and then we're going to do the last one where we reveal our own top needs, and we're going to talk about it and wrap it up. But useful tools. So be sure to join. If you have any questions, comments, you want it to be anonymous. We covered a viewer question earlier tonight that was pretty complicated and intense. You can do that through our website. It's anonymous. You can click on the comment or question tab and do it. Yeah.
So thank you.
And Fridays are always free for us. Fridays are always free for all Fridays. We talk about whatever. You want to join the conversation and throw something up. Hey, what do you think about this? Fridays are always free for all. So we just sit and bullshit and talk about whatever. And we wanted to talk about the whole Me Too campaign that was going on. But we ran out of time. So, but we're going to have to cover that sometime because
you and I can't keep our mouth shut very long when it comes to a topic like that. So, I think that deserves its own show anyways, because you and I both got a lot to say about this whole Me Too campaign.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to that. But anyways, I want to say quick shout out thank yous to our awesome, amazing, great, all you people who just sat there and listened and commented and played along the game. Opal Fatsto, Landa Cardillo, Charles Kovac, Jennifer Hafla. Thank you. Thank you for making this show so much better and for being part of what makes Grit and Grace TV communicating that matters. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.